Good day, dear friends, and welcome to the Thursday version. It feels like Monday, but it's the Thursday version of this thing of ours. I'm so glad you can be with us. I thank you immensely for this opportunity to speak with you yet again and to ask you, as always, to accept my sincere thanks, which is a different story completely, for your participation in review. Let me remind you, of course, that as we speak, the election is 138 days away. And I can't tell you how scary that is for me and a lot of other people, but it's something that I think you should pay attention to and should obviously watch very, very, very carefully. Now, a couple of things here for you to note. Number one, please make sure you are subscribed. Please make sure that for some reason people are being unsubscribed, which happens from time to time. Please make sure that you are also, that you like the video and that you are a part of this thing that we do. It's very, very critical that you do that. Very, very important that you maintain connection and connectivity with it. We have so much to discuss today. The Democrats are freaking out over the nation, proposing this lunacy that they call deep fakes. Cheap, pardon me. I'm doing it wrong. Cheap fakes. You're not going to believe what they're saying. You're simply not. They are going back to every old trope there is, whether it makes sense or not. And I could not be happier. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much. But please, before we begin our foray into today's work, let me remind you of this most important and critical news regarding something which has to do with your security, your online security, your identity, and your placement. Check this out from Virtual VPN. Do you remember a while back the world's most famous celebrities and billionaires were outraged because the internet used apps to stalk their flight routes of their private jets? Remember that? And with these apps, anyone could track the celebrities' flight routes nearly in real time. But new legislation by Congress, of course, has made that illegal, allowing the rich and famous to anonymize their jet flight and make it impossible to track them. Well, unfortunately, when regular citizens like you and me complain about our privacy, the government does nothing about it. That's why I protect my personal data with today's sponsor, Virtual Shield, and I absolutely love the security I get with them. Virtual Shield helps protect my private information, browsing history, and internet activity from cyber criminals, hackers, tech corporations, ISPs, and more. It only takes 2 clicks on my laptop or phone to protect me with their flagship tools like Virtual Shield's VPN, which features anonymous browsing, ad blocking, a strict no-log policy, military-grade encryption, unlimited bandwidth, unlimited devices, and much, much more. Thanks again to Virtual Shield for sponsoring Lionel Nation, and be sure to sign up by visiting virtualshield.com/Lionel, or simply click the link in the description below, because every sign up with that link gets you up to 67% off and a 60-day risk-free trial. All right, folks, today, again, I keep saying it feels like a Monday to me. Yesterday was Juneteenth. Don't you love white folks who put up all this happy Juneteenth stuff, just like they did Black Lives Matter? They have no idea what the hell they're talking about. They have no idea what they're doing this, but they will put up everything and anything in order to look as though they are a part of the cool kids. They have no earthly idea of what Juneteenth is. No interest. What? I hate that. I hate it. Only say something you believe in. Don't apply yourself to a particular movement, whether it's anything, just because you think, well, this is, I guess, the cool thing to do. Now, as you know, in case the Democrats are freaking out because even they can't explain anymore what is happening regarding Joe Biden. They just don't know what to do. They don't know what to do anymore. Really, they don't. I mean, they just don't know what to do. it's at first it was like, well, he's a little old. Now he's just. And what they're doing is they're saying that there's this new concept called cheap fake. So some genius came up with this, and he said it works something like this. It means not a deep fake, but a fake which is duplicitous in terms of the illusion of something that it portrays. That may or may not be true. It's the illusion. It's the idea that it's pretending to be something that it is not. You see, that it's pretending to show Joe Biden walking off aimlessly when he's not walking off. He's merely talking to somebody. He's not walking off aimlessly. You see, he was talking to somebody. He was summoned. And you, of course, don't know that because you're being fed this pack of lies by the right wing who keeps trying to convey this idea that Joe is without the ability to know what's going on. So what they're doing is they're going back deep into their trove of usual hacks to explain the usual. And this is a great sign because this means they are so desperate. Let me give you a couple of things. Do you remember Tater? We call him Tater. Spud. This was Brian Stelter. This was this weird, strange fella. Remember he and Frank, didn't he and Luntz have something? Was that it? Anyway, I don't remember. But Luntz had some kind of it. Anyway, don't quote me on that. But here he is, and they're bringing him back to CNN, just like they were trying to bring back Fredo Cuomo because he's just a hack. He's a hack, and he's just run. Remember, he started that rumor about CNN's going to take me back. Whenever you see that, he's starting it. He's presenting the rumor. It's as old as you can imagine. It is that. So, in any event, this is Tater explaining what happened.
President's defecating in public. Imagine where we're going to be by October.
Now, did I hear this correctly? Did I hear defecating in public? Did I?
About whether the president's defecating in public.
Oh, yes. You remember that one? That was when they say he was perhaps relieving himself and he was bending over in that weird kind of squat. Some people were saying he was, doing such. And if anybody would know, it would be Mr. Stelter.
Imagine where we're going to be by October. The White House press secretary used the phrase cheap fakes, the idea of cheap fakes.
And by the by, that was a joke. That was a meme. I don't think anybody actually was suggesting that he was in the middle of that particular activity. I don't think that was it. I don't think that's what the official media were saying. Some, people, some online pranksters did it, the wavy gravies of the digital world.
The White House press secretary used the phrase cheap fakes, the idea of cheap fakes. Let me explain what that is to people.
Thank you.
We've been worried for years about AI deep fakes, that computer generated images are going to trick people into believing something that's totally false. Mm-hmm. Cheap fakes are a little bit simpler. They're cheap. They're just distorted, out of context videos, chopped up in certain ways, constructed in certain ways. Uh-huh. That's what we're seeing. That's what the Biden administration, the Biden campaign is so worried about right now. But make no mistake, they are worried about this. This is a real problem. This is not some made up fiction. The videos are oftentimes made up, but the problem is real because some of us, Abby, watch a 40-minute speech by Biden. We see the full context. Other people only watch a 5-second clip. And that's going to be something that's going to, I suspect, follow Biden for the rest of this campaign.
Yeah. Did you hear this? So he thinks, and they seem to think, that it's being taken out of context. You see, it's taken out of context. And that's what he's saying, that you have to watch the whole thing. Like, who was it? There was somebody said, did I have this? Where somebody was saying, is this it? That's not it. Let me see. Is this one it? Oh, yes. Here we go. This is what? This is from CBS. And this woman she has all of the integrity of somebody in a hostage video. She really, really did not believe what she was reading. Check this baby out.
You've probably heard of deep fakes, but just last week, as President Biden was at the G7 summit in Italy, cheap fake clips went viral on social media and were
No, not cheap fakes went viral. The allegation of them being cheap fake. That's like when they use the fake news concept and then Trump owned fake news. No, cheap fakes didn't go viral. The allegation went viral.
picked up by some news outlets. Take a look at this clip, for example. It shows Biden and other world leaders watching a skydiving demonstration before the president is seen walking away and looking in another direction. Outlets claimed that he was sort of just aimlessly wandering away. The clip amassed millions of views within just a few hours, when actually if you widen out, you can see that he was talking to one of the members of the military that was participating in that demonstration.
Now, remember, she said that, okay? Because we've got the full clip here. Remember, she said that if you widen out, you'll see the exact context of this.
So how prevalent are cheap fakes, and how big of a problem will they be in this election? Well,
not how problematic cheap fakes are, how prevalent are the accusations of cheap fakes, and how much more will Biden's behavior deteriorate? That's the issue.
Let's take a look with executive editor of CBS News Confirmed, Rona Tarrant, who joins us now from Studio 57.
Now, she's going to get to the bottom of this. You look at this right here. This woman's going to Rona is going to get to the bottom. She's going to clarify this for you. And she's going to once and for all dispel these horrible rumors, this prevarication, this lie, this distortion, this misinformation, disinformation, and data information regarding our beloved Pops Poopy Pants Biden.
To explain. Hi, Rona. It's great to see you.
Hi.
Here's Rona. Rona's exciting. She's in Studio 57, by the way. Just want to let you know. Not Studio 54, Studio 57, which is not far from us.
So tell us how long cheap fakes have been around. I'm assuming they've been around since the beginning of the media, because anybody can take an image and manipulate it to make it look like it suggests something that didn't happen.
Do you see how she doesn't believe anything she's saying? Do you hear in her voice? I know they always have these people on television. They are body language experts. Did you hear the timorous nature of her? Did you hear the sense of the deep fakes as they're handed the story? Here comes Rona to set the word, to set us straight.
That's exactly it. It really is a case of old techniques meets new technology. So as you
Rona Tarrant, CBS News confirmed executive editor. I don't know what that means.
You said cheap fake videos, and that's videos that are edited in a really simple way. Those have been around as long as political videos have existed.
They've been around for a long time. You see, your man takes the photo of the one of your place and finds his way to your man Biden. I don't even know if she's Irish. I don't know why I'm doing this.
So there's a few ways, for example, that people might be familiar with. One is there might be a long video and you might take a very short clip and you take out key context.
You might take a long clip of your man Biden. Biden may be walking around with drool and saliva dripping from his mouth where he's talking to individuals who aren't there anymore. And he might walk over aimlessly, shuffling in this frozen gait of one Alzheimer's, some type of demented frozen rictus. And you might just take a segment of it versus the entire panorama of this cognitive melange of decrepitude.
Another is maybe you slow something down and it makes it sound like someone is slurring their words.
You can slow it down. You can take your man or lower the volume so it makes it sound like he's whispering. When in fact he sounds like Robert Goulet. See, it's all your cheap fakes.
Or another is you might splice several pieces together and it makes it sound like someone said something that they didn't.
You might want to, what I'm doing right now is I'm explaining rudimentary bad editing from the old days of being there with your tape. We have tape and a razor, and we take the pieces of information that's provided and we remove it, expurgate, bowdlerize, slap it together to slow down the tape, drop down the video, and make sure his eyes weird form of squint, and will take muffles and folks around him, and just completely distort. And of course, there will never be anything showing you exactly what happened, or a reference point indicating how the fake tape was produced.
What's different in this election and the last two elections, in the presidential elections, is number one, everyone has access to mobile phones where they can edit. And number two, most people have social media accounts where they can publish this stuff.
Thank you so much, Rona. Rona's figured that one out. You say most people have what you call your social media. See what they do is have your Facebook, Twitter, or now it's called X. Used to be called Twitter, Elon Musk. You got your Facebook, Instagram, maybe your my pages, my only pages. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
So it's worth saying these are not anything new. You know, when Trump was president, these targeted him as well. But what we are seeing in the last few weeks is really the steady stream of videos that are targeting President Biden, and in particular, taking aim at his age.
Taking aim at his age and the fact of his mental decrepitude. You see, out of it, he's as sharp as a marble. Your man Biden, we've never seen anybody who's so alacritous, so able to focus on everything around him. All right, this is complete and utter bollocks. She's talking for, my God, 5 minutes. They're desperate. They put on Rona Tarrant. Now, if you don't mind, could I show you what we're talking about here? This is your man Biden, okay? This is your man Biden. Here's what happened. I want you to look at all the people around him, right? This is your deep fake, okay? Watch this now. Watch this. See, there he is. Okie dokie. He's staring there. See? Now look. They're all looking like, where's he going? Now, all of the people showing alarm, that's also a deep fake. And he's walking over there. Look, your man's walking. He's talking to somebody. Now, he's waving. He's holding his hands out. And notice the look of alarm on your man Macron and your EU lady there. Look at this. Oh, here it comes. Please, go over there. Maloney says, oh, for God's sake. Georgia, go get your man. He's walking over there. Oh, God, go get him. Go get him. Over here. Over here. Now, does this look like someone is she part of the deep fake as well? Huh? Over here. Huh? Yeah. There's your folks there. Yeah, part of the fake. Put your glasses on because the light bothers him. Can you believe the level of absolute prevarication on the part of these people? It's like nothing. You can't. Now, here's another one, too. Whoopi Goldberg thought, I'm going to wear different things on my head. A mop, dreadlocks, no dreadlocks, a mop, a white mop, a hospital mop, yarn, all kinds of things, which had, I think, its own particular flavor. But nobody covered the tonsorial spectrum like your one Joy Reid from MSDNC, a show that nobody watches except when she says something like this. Now, Joy is going back to that old bag of tricks, old favorite of the lefties, climate change. A concept, of course, we know nothing about still, but whenever it's hot, whenever anything goes bad, remember, it's climate change.
With the lucrative politics of...
Look at this. She said, you know what? The hell with the wigs. I'm just going to go. I'm going to go for a blonde stubble look and lose the brows at the same time. So I'm kind of giving you kind of a Grace Jones meets Ayanna Presley kind of a thing. Not really alopecia, but nice, kind of a sporty blonde buzz cut. And lose the brows.
Climate collapse and the greed that is literally letting our country burn.
The reason why it's hot in June is because of the greed that is literally letting the country burn.
Today, millions of Americans from Iowa to Maine are suffering through heat warnings, watches, or advisories. Cities across half of the country, like Chicago, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Detroit, Philly, and now New York, are hitting temperatures exceeding 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
How many days? How many days? Excuse me. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Listen. I'm a second generation Floridian, and you don't even know heat. I don't want to give the old, you don't know, but you really don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but you really don't know.
Though it feels closer to 100. Many of
I like that feels like. I prefer seems like. Feel to me is too presumptuous, but seems like that's more of a contextual. Apparently, it feels apparently.
These cities could experience heat indexes hitting 100.
Indices. Not indexes, indices.
105 degrees by Sunday. These increasingly oppressive hot days aren't a coincidence.
Really? The fact that they're happening in June, now they happen in December, that would be something. But the fact of there's this, you see, there's this weird thing called this, the polar, as you know, the way the axis of the Earth is coordinated is tilted, was it 23% degrees? And as it goes around the summer, you have these things called seasons. And it's June, and it's going to get even hotter. And by the way, the old days, if you look at the old records, they were much hotter then. But of course, she's going to use that old trope, speaking of old tropes, and she's going to bring up this idea how it, of course, is part of corporate greed or something.
They aren't. They are the predictable impact of the climate crisis. And they're not just an inconvenience. They're also killing us.
It's killing us, and she has no basis for this other than the ipso facto absolute statement of truth. And by the way, would India, China, Europe, Mexico, I mean, would any other countries have anything to do with this other than our own, quote, corporate greed?
At higher rates.
Okay. Is that, oh, that's it. Okay. Now, she won't tell you why. Now, here's something else. I don't know about you, but I despise these climate folks. I really do. And there's one thing I really hate too. I hate people who destroy personal property. Whether it's George Floyd, when PETA people would burn down labs and, you know, but there's this new group of people who they're activists. And this latest group shows them going after, of all people, Taylor Swift's private jet. And they're defacing this because they want to make a statement. And there is these youngsters. And what's also great is they always seem to film their particular crimes as they are committed. He is. Well, he is. It is. Here we go. I'll watch this. Look at this. Isn't that great? Defacing a plane. That's going to stop things. Look at these. $1 million. Just this defacing with paint. Yeah. Because, you know, this is going to make things better. There we go. Yeah. Just stop. Oh, hi, we're hugging. There we are. Just stop. Okay, good. You know, I have a few ideas. Way to do this. Now, if you think that is going to somehow lull me, pull me into this, you're absolutely correct. See, I despise these people because they're activists. And they have never been able to explain a causal connection, an anthropomorphic, man-made connection between these people. So these folks who do this. So that man is somehow causing it to be 100. Like today, right now it's 80 degrees at 8:30 in the morning. Okay. It's happened before. But they're just saying, well, obviously it's because of your car, your whatever. Forget the Hypsy thermals, the Holocene maxima, periods of time where there was absolutely the ice age versus no ice age. The whole reason why UK is green with verdure is because of these hot spells. But I'm not going to explain this to somebody. They don't seem to care. But in the meantime, what you should care about, none of these people look like they've missed a meal, but one of the things you should concern yourself is what happens if indeed there is a food emergency. And somebody the other day referred to this. I love the way they call this prepping, like it's like you're, I don't understand it. Food, water, energy, they laugh because they do this for people who see what's happening when you have foreign countries and China owning how much land? I played something for you last night called ento milk made out of ground larvae, some kind of weevils or something. And you went crazy because food means a lot to you. So if you care about what to do in the event of some type of an emergency, pay attention to this and remember this website, preparewithlionel.com. It's no longer a question of if something catastrophic is coming, it's when. Now, what are you going to be doing about it to prepare now? Your first step is going to my website, preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. And for a limited time, enjoy their special partner offer. Take $50 off a 4-week or $100 off a 3-month emergency food supply. You decide, but act now. My Patriot Supply is equipped to help you and your family prepare. They've helped over 2 million families already, and they're simply the best. These 4-week starter kits provide over 2,000 calories every day, 16 varieties, 25-year shelf life, breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks, everything, you name it. And they're sealed inside 2 rugged waterproof buckets and over 31 pounds of food. But the best deal, what I recommend, is the 3-month supply. But anyway, it's your choice, but act now. Take advantage now, and preparewithlionel.com is where you should go. Preparewithlionel.com. All right, dear friends. Now, one thing I would like to also do, and this is, if you could give me, Mr. President Trump, that is, give me, I will waive any fees. I just want this one scene, this one moment to run 24 hours a day. It's a very simple idea. It's kind of like in the old Tony Schwartz mentality. And what it is it's a very simple thing. It says, ladies and gentlemen, from the White House of Joseph, Robinette Biden, whatever, from the White House, President Biden, this is your Democratic Party.
Hey everyone, to the White House. I'd like to briefly answer some questions. Go ahead, I'm ready.
JVN.
Oh, yes.
Is it true that is all your natural hair?
Yes, I can confirm that this is not a wig.
Follow-up question, do you use your own products?
I do use JVN hair, actually exclusively for over 4 years. Next question.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. They don't get it. They simply, and this is the part that just astounds me, they don't get it. Period. They don't get it. They think this is just, I don't know what the word is, a cute, hip, whatever. This terrifies, it disgusts people. And this is something which I'm sorry. All I would do is I wouldn't comment. I wouldn't say what it is. I would just say, ladies and gentlemen, from the White House of the Biden administration. Then pictures of, the Kamala Harris with these other folks, and that's it. They don't understand. They are so. Now I personally say, it doesn't really bother me. But it doesn't bother me because nobody's ever tried to ram it down my throat before. It does bother me now because you're not even asking whether we, the people, even think this is. Or maybe that's a cheap fake. Maybe that's it. But here's the one for you, which is the most important. This is the one which is so great. I've always believed in putting the power of the people in charge of those folks who decide to make sure that they control crime. Barry Taylor, by the way, says, Mary, maybe that's a cheap fake. Indeed. Maybe that they're going to rue the day. I would, if I were Trump, I'd say, this is probably a cheap fake. This is here's a cheap fake. I would make them eat their words. Cheap fake, cheap fake, cheap. Here's another cheap fake. Here's Biden talking about corn pop in 2017. Here's Biden sniffing the hair of little girls and women. Is this a cheap fake? Here's another cheap fake. In fact, let's put all the cheap fakes, all of them, where he loses his. But here's the deal. This is what's important. Here in New York City, this is the guy that's bringing a lot of folks.
There was a rain today in New York.
I want you to listen to me before we begin. I want you to see the people. Good and honorable New York citizens who may look not like your typical Republicans, may not look like people that would be normally law and because of the way we're conditioned. And this is no cheap fake, by the way. But listen to what these good Samaritans thought and did.
Christian Inga was arraigned today in New York City on charges of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl after school last week in a shocking daylight attack. Police say the 25-year-old migrant from Ecuador.
Migrant. He's a migrant. He was just migrating, peregrinating. He was just, locomoting about. He's a traveler, a happy wanderer. Just a traveler.
Approached two teens in the park at knife point.
Approach them at knife point? How about attack them?
To the criminal complaint, the suspect tied the boy and girl to one another, gagged them, then raped the girl before fleeing the scene.
As they were tied together? As they were tied together? Is that what you're... The boy had to just witness? I mean, I don't want to go too much into detail.
Police put out the sketch of the suspect and later this video of him riding a bike. Outraged.
Now look at this crew. Now, by the way, look at this crew. Now, do me a favor. Don't fight this. If I said to you, here are the newest groups of New York vigilantes and vigilant citizens, the Curtis Sliwa groups, you would probably think of, I don't know, these folks to the untrained eye look like people who might be the suspect of criminal activity, right? Be honest. Oh, no. They may look like that. They may look identical, but these folks, more than anyone, have had it.
New Yorkers responded.
We waited for him all day.
I love that. Look at his face. Look at this. This guy. Would you want to tangle with this? We waited for him all
day. The community of Good Samaritans recognized the suspect as someone who lived in the neighborhood and waited for him for hours at a grocery store.
Waited? I sound like somebody from 60 Minutes. Have you noticed that on 60 Minutes Sunday morning? And he waited for hours. Yeah, like I said. And they waited for hours. Yes.
Where he was last seen.
I seen him walking into the store and I had to take him out.
I had to take him out. Thank you, sir.
Chaotic scene playing out live on the Citizen app.
The Citizen app, which I don't know if you have it where you are, but I was transfixed. All this crime that was being recorded around me. I gotta find out where it is. It's not on my phone anymore.
He tried to fight back though. He tried to run for his life. Like he really tried to run for his life, but he couldn't.
Police.
That is my hero.
Say Inga entered the U.S. illegally through Eagle Pass, Texas, back in 2021 with his then 3-year-old son.
Oh, isn't that something? You see, this is what it's about. This is it. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't say it enough. Maybe that's a deep fake. Maybe that's it. Maybe I've got this all wrong. Maybe I don't understand this. Maybe I'm just not paying attention. See, this, dear friends, this is going to be the stuff that what America is absolutely sick over. And by the by, the polls are coming out more. You're going to be seeing this. Biden's still winning. Biden's up by a point. Can you imagine Biden being up by a point? Do you believe that? Do you believe that there are significant numbers of people who actually don't recognize the fact that Joe Biden is the worst thing? There is no Joe Biden. There is no Joe Biden. There is no Joe Biden. Do you hear me? It's not. None. I try to contain my rage. Because it maybe, and I do, because a lot of people I know, they're kind of losing their minds. They lose their minds and they're getting all kinds of upset. I'm not getting upset, but I want to get so even when it comes to this. You have no idea. And the people that if ever there was a reason to despise this shadow government media, it's like it's now. I despise I despise, but you know that. Now, a couple of things are going to be happening. Keep in mind right now, they're freaking out. I'm also going to try to say something to you, which I want you to pay attention to greatly. The issue right now regarding Israel, Netanyahu coming to ostensibly still to address the Congress, and after having had their meeting with the administration canceled, I've never heard in my life more people talking about not necessarily just the issue of this, but everything from the existence of Israel to Zionism. I've never heard the word said as much until now, because we have the internet. They have no idea what's happening. They think they're just going to be able to say, we'll just change this. We'll buy our supporters, and that's it. Everything's fine. We still have not figured out yet the full impact of the internet. We still have not figured that out, if that makes any sense to you. And it should make a lot of sense to you, my friends. These are huge. These are huge, huge times. One last final word. All right, dear friends, it's time yet again to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you get a free gift. No purchase necessary. And yes, I know, a free gift. It's a tautology. So sue me. But first, listen. Check out their $25 extravaganzas. Listen to this. Premium MyPillows, King and Queen, MyPillow 2.0, MyPillow bed sheets, the lowest prices ever, sandals, slides, and slippers, 6-piece towel sets, 4-pack dish towel sets, simply and absolutely the best. It is unbelievable. So go to mypillow.com/Lionel or call 800-645-4965 and watch how fast Mike answers the phone. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, simply the best, simply and absolutely the best. All right, my friends, one more thing to explain to you before we forget. And I'm going to say this again. There are two areas of interest which I think, I know I'm fascinated by, but friends of mine, for some reason, are not. They sort of are, but not really. Raul Rodriguez says, if started, will Trump TV help Mr. Trump? Who needs Trump TV? I mean, seriously. With all, it's a great question, Raul. My question to President Trump is, don't even get near this. First of all, you're going to be the president. You don't want to have conflict of interest and all this stuff. You don't need this. Let me also say something to you. Television, or whatever the manifestation of it, is dead. Is dead. Cable news is dead. Trump would invariably have the same people. Think about it. Give me a list of, and by the by, if I have to run real quick, I've got a Zoom meeting that always starts earlier then. So if ever I have to bolt, please don't take it the wrong way. Let me ask you something. Who are the usual suspects that Trump would have on his Trump TV? Who? Who would it be? It would be Fox News, sort of. It would be maybe Stephen Miller, maybe, like a Levin or Steve Bannon. No, maybe Steve Bannon. It would be a replication of everybody you've seen. There's something that's really interesting that's happening. You have two people right now, two main people, two MAGA sorts who carry a lot of weight. Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. Within this fraternity of the usual suspects, they hate Tucker Carlson because they're jealous of him. He, Joe Rogan, and Candace Owens last week, absolutely blockbuster. And what happened? What did they do? Two things. One, they pulled away from, and both of them are pulling away from Israel. This is enormous. At least questioning the usual, how do I say this? The usual, I don't want to say blind, but the usual axiomatic belief and acceptance in everything Israel does. That make any sense to you? This is huge. This is bigger than anything. See, nobody gets this. Up until now, people have thought that with various, with Hollywood, Adelson, the usual suspects, the usual contributors, everything is terrific. It was reported that intel was provided to Eric Adams, but Eric Adams is to the highest bidder. You can buy Eric Adams. And I mean, not illegally, but he has this is the mayor of New York. He has no philosophical position. Whatever it is, whichever way the wind blows, whoever has the money, he goes with. So and he wants to be accepted and wants to be cool and wants to be loved and wants to be. So all of these big shot Wall Street billionaires, hey, come on out to the Hamptons. Well, they'll throw money at him. He doesn't know. He's never seen this before. Oh, by the way, do us a favor, Eric. Yeah. Here's some intel. We want you to put down and get rid of these Columbia protesters. Yeah. Do that. Well, why should I? It's a private. Well, it means a lot to us. But don't they have the right to say whatever they want? Maybe. But isn't that a Columbia University thing? Maybe. Did you hear what I said, Eric? It would be we would take it. Oh, yes. And Eric Adams, out of nowhere, unleashed a torrent of a police presence I've never seen. I didn't even think existed. I thought the ranks were down to a bunch of, fat slobs standing on the corner with Cardi B lenses and talking on their phone and just waiting for retirement. I don't know where these folks came from. I was like, wow, they look like an army. Siege trucks. Why? Because of Columbia University? Wait a minute. We've got people attacking children. And we need citizens who are having surveillance. They knew how to do this. Where was the police? Now, maybe if somebody were to say, you see, by the way, Mr. Mayor Adams, yeah, the guy who attacked us, yeah, he's an anti-Semite. Maybe that would make a difference. I don't understand this. And this has nothing to do about whether we're assessing the value of what's going on in Gaza, Palestine. No. Why this incredible attention and nothing to us? It's not being missed. You see, what people don't realize is because it's not covered on Fox, because Ainsley and this Jadrul, the poor guy who mispronounces words, still, it's their show. They know what they're doing. They have no idea what's going on. The world is just exploding. The world is exploding. Social media platforms, that's it. TV cable is dead. They don't understand that. All right, dear friends, thank you. And by the way, we should have a show every day I want to do on TV called This is What They Stole from Mrs. L Today. You will not believe the shows that, I'm not going to mention which one per se, but I swear to God, they go on her channel, they go on her YouTube, they take whatever she says and they repeat it. This is, by the way, her link. This is what I want you to follow right here. This is it right here. I want you to follow Mrs. L at on YouTube right there. Lynn's Warriors, critical Lynn's Warriors. And if you watch it like we do, you can almost count the days until what she says there. Oh, and now how many people are saying, hey, I think this Gavin Newsom's going to be the guy that they're talking, because they're really coming out of the woodwork now. Say, well, Gavin Newsom's crime. And Gavin Newsom says, I know about the crime. I know exactly about the crime. I was following orders. You're not going to get me on that. We've been talking about Gavin Newsom since the beginning of all of this. George in Texas says, finally caught you live stream, Mr. L. Here's a small token of my appreciation for your hard work on the tube, doing your best to awaken those among us not paying attention. George in Texas, God bless you for that. Thank you for those very, very kind words, sir. I think the people watching here, you are very much aware. I'm not really speaking to you. I'm trying to get to the other folks who don't understand what's happening. And you have to understand something. When I tell you something, it's not from a conservative point of view. Yesterday, when I told you that they were putting in the 10 Commandments in Louisiana, I'm absolutely against that. Not because I'm a liberal, but because I believe in the Constitution. And it is absolutely verboten under under the Establishment Clause to openly endorse or ratify the existence of a monotheistic. But it doesn't really matter because it's in our coins, and I don't think anybody really cares about religion one way or the other. I really don't. I think it's become anecdotal. So when I tell you that, it's not because, are you a liberal? No. I've told you how I absolutely believe in a woman's right to choose an abortion, meaning I don't want to put a woman in prison who has an abortion. But by the same token, I'm telling you that the Constitution provides absolutely no guarantee of an abortion. How do you like that? Figure that one out. I happen to be against the death penalty. Why is that? Do you want our system that went after Trump and still continues to go after him for 4 cases? If you think lawfare is bad, I don't want life and death determined by our criminal justice system. That's simple. But in this case, the Constitution does provide the ability to take the life. Because remember, 5th and 14th Amendment, life, liberty, and property cannot be denied without due process of law. See what it is? It confounds people. I don't want 1 penny of our limited funds to go to kill people in other countries, whether it's Ukraine or in Gaza. Period. Does that make me an anti-Semite? No. Oop. There we go. Sorry, folks. Gotta run. See you tonight, 7 p.m.